no man again, not me. No, 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 I want to be a puppy.
.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Hello, thank you for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Welcome to your news at noon. These are the top stories we're tracking. Short auditing timeline leaves Guyana accepting Liza 1 and 2 costs as is. Exxon shuts down Norway refinery after country strengthens rules governing industry as Guyana relaxes guidelines for environmental permits. PSC unearths unusual spending at Agri-Ministry, and also here's Guy Suko never received approved $400 million. Meanwhile, South African gas-to-energy project challenged in court over EIA shortfalls, climate impacts. Guyana could be heading in the same direction. Meanwhile, government ignores proposal for first response oil spill vessel, and suspect in hit-and-run accident turned self in and tells cop he thought he had hit a horse. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Summer rush. Nobody's doing it big like Digicel this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more and collect the letters to spell the word RUSH for a chance to win one of 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs. Yes, you heard it right. 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs.
Driving style for the summer. Hey, Digicel Summer Rush.
Start topping up now.
And now for the news in detail. Due to the accounting provisions in the 2016 Stabroek Block Agreement, Guyana only has a 2-year window to audit all costs expended by Exxon Mobil and its partners, Hess Corporation and Sinnock Petroleum Guyana, in a fiscal year. If that time frame runs out, the country has to accept as correct all costs incurred for the said year. Since Guyana failed to audit in a timely manner the costs ExxonMobil and its partners incurred for the Liza Phase 1 and 2 projects, the oil companies can fully recover over $3.5 billion and $6 billion respectively. It will also be able to recover without any challenges $460 million which it claimed was expended prior to the signing of the 2016 production sharing agreement. The only costs Guyana stands a chance of auditing and refuting, if unreasonable charges are found, are those occurring from 2019 onwards. It therefore means that the PPPC administration still has ample opportunity to review costs expended for ExxonMobil's Payara development project in the Stabroek Block. This project is expected to cost $9 billion. In other news, evolving regulatory measures governing the oil and gas industry are among the reasons being cited by ExxonMobil for a decision to shutter its refinery in climate-friendly Norway, according to a recent international report. Argus International News over the weekend reported that the decision by ExxonMobil was taken to shutter the refinery permanently, since, according to Exxon, in an April 2020 announcement, the refinery's continued operation is not economically viable for over the long term because of strong competition, evolving regulatory measures, and falling demand. The decision by ExxonMobil comes as the company continues flaring in the Stabroek Block from the Liza oil vessel offshore Guyana. New guidelines had been issued 6 days before ExxonMobil subsidiary, ESSO, submitted an application for a gas pipeline for the government's gas-to-energy initiative. And moving on. Based on credible information shared with Kaieteur, ExxonMobil and the government of Guyana have so far refused to accept a proposal for Guyana to acquire an oil spill containment system for marine wells in the event of an oil spill. The proposal was submitted by the CEO of Tula Huen Corporation, Jorge Abu Khalil. According to the document, the vessel is valued at $132 million and is designed to contain and recover uncontrolled oil and gas subsea well leaks. Despite the capabilities of the vessel, the government and ExxonMobil indicated that they are not interested in the endeavor, according to Mr. Abu Khalil. He said that his company has engaged with a wide cross-section of relevant stakeholders, including the CDC, the EPA, the Ministry of Natural Resources, and the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard. Meanwhile, the former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, George Jarvis, yesterday told the Public Accounts Committee that it was he who approved the spending of some $6 million that was allocated to the ministry in a manner for which it was not prescribed. The committee heard that the ministry in fact used money allocated to it for current expenditure and used it for capital works in violation to the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act. According to Jarvis, the ministry had initially handed out the contract for the repairs to the surface of the ministry's compound. Additionally, the committee, which was at the time scrutinizing the findings in the Auditor General's report for 2016, found that even though some $400 million had been approved in the national budget for Gaisuco, the money never made its way to the corporation. And now let's tell you, weeks after the nude body of a hit-and-run victim was found lying along New Road, Vredenhoop, on the west coast of the Demerara, a suspect turned himself into the police with his attorney. The victim in the accident was 47-year-old Reginald Moore, who was a security guard of Greenwich Park. We were informed that the suspect has already been placed before the court and charged. He is being accused of hitting down Moore with his vehicle during the late evening hours of Wednesday, July 7th. Not only did he allegedly struck down the security guard, but he drove away from the scene without stopping to render assistance. After he turned himself in, the suspect reportedly told investigators that he was unaware that he had struck down a pedestrian. He claimed that he thought that he had hit a horse and decided to drive away. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and of course 99.5 FM. And moving on. A total of 1,000 house lots will be distributed in Region 4 by the Central Housing and Planning Authority at yet another two-day Dream Realized Housing Initiative. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell and Minister within the Ministry, Susan Rodriguez, yesterday commenced the distribution at the National Stadium in Providence. Individuals who fall under the low-income bracket benefited. Lots were allocated for Block 18 Plantation, Golden Grove, East Bank, Demerara. Meanwhile, Minister Crowell announced that the government will be distributing over 6,000 house lots by August 2nd and thousands more by the end of the year. The distribution exercise will continue today and forms part of the PPPC government's promise to deliver 50,000 house lots within the first 5 years in office. And now let's tell you, ex-con 20-year-old Chris Pollard of David Street, Kitty, Georgetown, yesterday found himself before a city magistrate who remanded him to prison for allegedly snatching a woman's $70,000 gold chain. Pollard denied the allegation and he was remanded to prison until August 30th, when he is expected to make his next court appearance. Pollard is no stranger to the courts. At the age of 18, he was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment for snatching a man's phone and was also on remand for a series of robbery charges. In November of 2019, he was found guilty of robbing a man of another cell phone and was sentenced to 1 year behind bars. On March 2019, Pollard was slapped with 5 counts of robbery, and in 2018, he was charged for taking his father's firearm and ammunition. And at this point, we now move on to our COVID-19 update. Yesterday, the Ministry of Health reported that 3 more persons who tested positive for COVID-19 have died. As a result of this, the country's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 530. The country's latest fatalities are that of a 73-year-old man from Region 4, a 70-year-old woman from Region 9, and a 37-year-old woman from Region 3. Within the last 24 hours, 31 new infections were recorded, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 22,181. There are 9 persons in the COVID-19 ICU, 70 persons are currently admitted at the institution, and 907 are in home isolation. To date, a total of 20,665 persons have recovered from the virus. And at this point, we now head over to the page 7 of the Kaieteur News dedicated to being blunt. Do the PPP leaders really expect us to follow them blindly? They went across the world to corrupt Kazakhstan, of all places, to find a natural resources fund, or an NRF, that they like. Suddenly, the Norway model, which is globally recognized, is not good enough. It is too advanced. But the corrupt Kazakhstan model is selected. Why? The Kazakhstan model is liked by PPP leaders because it allows politicians to be in charge of the NRF, in the middle of it and all over it, for their own purposes. Mark our words, no good is going to come from this Kazakhstan model, or from the tricksters, the trickeries of the PPP leaders. Guyanese, just look at the lengths to which PPP leaders will go to get a model that, in our opinion, supports thievery. And just before we wrap things up for today's news at noon, let's tell you that based on credible information shared with Kaieteur, Exxon Mobil, and the government of Guyana have so far refused to accept a proposal for Guyana to acquire an oil spill containment system for marine wells in the event of an oil spill. As a quick rundown for today's news, and evolving regulatory measures governing the oil and gas industry are among the reasons being cited by ExxonMobil for a decision to shutter its refinery in climate-friendly Norway, according to recent international reports, and also due to the accounting provisions in the 2016 Stabroek Block Agreement. Guyana only has a 2-year window to audit all costs expended by ExxonMobil and its partners, Hess Corporation and Sinnock Petroleum Guyana, in a fiscal year. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. Kevin Smith here. Thank you for listening.